Hey everyone, in this week's video I'm going to be showing you all how to move your ant colonies to a new nest the proper way, as well as giving you some examples of what my colonies have been doing recently since I changed their setup. Enjoy this week's video. Here is one of my Camponotus pennsylvanicus queens that needs a new setup. I caught her in my queen catching video along with a couple of other queens. Now you can see here her test tube really needs a change. So I think now is time to get to the tutorial. So first, what I do usually is in this case, fill up another test tube because it's just a single queen. And then I block it off with cotton. You've seen a lot of people do this in the past, but you need to make sure you have filtered water and your hands are clean so that mold does not spread. To connect your two test tubes, you can use tape, but in my case I'm using the Ants Canada test tube connector. Now that everything is set up, let's attach the other queen and wait for her to move. There are usually two effective ways of moving your ant colonies. One is by connecting the new nest to some sort of darkness, like putting a cloth over it, and the second way is by putting a bunch of heat on the old nest, which is kind of dangerous because if the queen does not move out, she can overheat. I ended up fiddling with the camera position and I just barely got the video of her walking in the test tube. But after that, she did not come back out. Even for her couple of eggs, she just stuck in there. This could mean that she is infertile because she still does have her wings and her gaster is not that big, but that could also be because she just forgot them. I don't know. Now let's move on to the black bishops. So here is their current setup. They have a lot of brood, a lot of workers, I'd say like 150, I don't know how many anymore, but they have a lot. And also they have a bunch of pupa, so there's about to be a population explosion just like usual, and I think now is a good time to move them out. So a couple days ago I removed the heating pad from the ants' old nest and I got a heating cable which I attached to their new Ants Canada nest that I've wanted them to move into for a while now. So hopefully this will encourage them to move. I'm going to leave them overnight and see if anything changes or if they move out. This is what I woke up to the next morning. Only a couple ants were still in their old test tube setup, just making sure they didn't forget anything or anyone. Just as expected, the ants moved right next to the heating source because their old heating source is gone. The brood is all piled right next to the entrance towards the outworld, and the queen is also around that area. The ants probably have about half of the nest filled up by now, and won't need a new nest for a little while. Their old test tube portal and test tube on the right hand side I'm going to remove soon once there are no ants in there and I get a chance to. Since the Chromatogaster colony is growing rapidly, I'm going to need to feed them a lot more now. Here you can see me feeding them 1.5 mealworms, and there are literally like 40 of them on the mealworms right now. I also need to have a constant supply of honey because these ants love the stuff. Thank you all for watching this week's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did, finally seeing my Chromatogaster colony move into their new nest. If I can get to 500 subscribers before the 19th of next month, I would really appreciate it because that is the anniversary of my channel being created. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this week's video, and I hope I gave you a couple of good tips on moving your colonies yourselves, and happy ant keeping. I'll see you in next week's video.